This is a radio program embarking on the journey of understanding and empathy as we introduce you to a non-governmental organization dedicated to supporting women, the elderly, and the vulnerable in our society. This is the story of Vessel of the Innocent Charity Empowerment Foundation, known as the Voice Foundation. Wherever you are listening to us from, kindly visit our official website at thevoicefound.org to find out more about us. Please note that we are streaming live on Facebook and it is at The Voice Found. That is The Voice Found. Please join us on Facebook if it is convenient for you. And welcome back to another enriching episode of The Voice Foundation. I am your host, Paul Onyegebu, and today we'll embark on a topic promoting advocacy of care towards the elderly and the effects of isolation, which allows us to deepen our understanding, empathy, and support for the elderly. Aging is a natural part of life, and as individuals and as a society, we must address these challenges faced by the elderly. Governments around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, have encountered significant obstacles in providing adequate care for their aging populations. The demand for services and resources to support the elderly is increasing, and we must come together to find a sustainable solution. One of the most prevalent issues that the elderly face is isolation. Aging often brings physical, psychological, and social challenges that can lead to feelings of loneliness and detachment. Imagine living in a world where you feel invisible, alone, and forgotten. The feeling of isolation can be debilitating for our elderly loved ones. It impacts their mental and emotional health, making them more vulnerable to depression and anxiety. Isolation is not just a feeling, it is a silent epidemic that we cannot ignore. To shed light on the importance of public enlightenment and preparation for old age, we must recognize that aging is an inevitable part of life. While we may have mixed feelings about growing older, it is crucial to acknowledge that we will allow all go through this natural process. Therefore, understanding and addressing the challenges associated with aging becomes paramount. For instance, different species have varying lifespans. A rat survives for only 2 years, while a Galapagos tortoise can live for over a century. Humans with an average lifespan of 80 to 85 years have the unique opportunity to make their twin light years more fulfilling and comfortable through proper care and support. Together, let's embark on this enlightening exploration, aiming to foster understanding and appreciation and promote advocacy for the elderly and the effects of isolation. Stay tuned and let's make a positive difference right here on 99.9 KISS FM Abuja. The WhatsApp phone line to send your messages is 08098930073. 08098930073. Please indicate your name and location when sending your message. This number is for only messages. So please begin to send your messages as soon as possible to 08098930073. I repeat, 08098930073. We'll give out the studio numbers during the course of the show. If you've just joined us, this is the Good Neighbor radio program produced by the Voice Foundation. And on this program, we will engage with experts, activists, stakeholders, and individuals who have first-hand experiences to provide valuable insights. We aim to dismantle stereotypes, highlight available support systems, and discuss legislative measures and societal changes necessary for progress and societal development. For joining us in the studio to expand this conversation on promoting advocacy for the elderly and the effect of isolation is a retired medical practitioner in Abuja, Mrs. Isioma Uka. It's nice to have you in the studio, Mrs. Isioma Uka. Please move closer to the mic.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Please.
Isioma Ukwa.
Ukwa. All right. Thank you very much. Well, you're welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
And we also have Mrs. Stella Arit, Pensionia. Thank you for joining us in the studio. Please come close to the mic.
Good evening.
Yes, it's nice to have you in the studios.
Nice having you.
All right. Now, let us delve deeper into this subject by exploring some thought-provoking questions. By discussing these questions and raising awareness, we can collectively work towards creating a society that values and supports its aging population. But, my friends, there is hope. Together, we can make a difference. The Good Neighbor Radio program aims to promote advocacy and raise awareness about the importance of care for the elderly. We believe that through public enlightenment, we can prepare ourselves and our communities for the challenges that come with aging, ensuring that our twin light years are filled with joy and fulfillment. Today, we call upon each and every one of you to support this noble cause. Your contribution, whether big or small, will help us create a world where the elderly is cherished and cared for, where their voices are heard and their needs are met. So let us join hands and put and uplift the lives of those who have given so much to our society together. We can make a difference in the lives of our elderly neighbors and ensure that they live their golden years with dignity, love, and respect. I encourage you to join the conversation by calling in and sharing your thoughts, personal experiences, or questions. Together, let's challenge misconceptions and create a society where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued. So stay tuned to the Good Neighbor on 99.9 Kiss FM Abuja because the change starts now. All right, I'm going to begin with you, Mrs. Isioma Okwa. Please, why is it important to advocate for the care and well-being of the elderly in our society?
Thank you very much.
Right.
The, First and foremost, what is advocacy? Advocacy is speaking up for another person, and in this case, for the elderly. For example, a father will want to advocate for the child
Okay.
in the school,
Yeah.
in case there's problem on behalf of the child, the father will speak to the principal or whoever is in charge. And also, again, for example,
Yeah.
maybe a child is being manhandled in the school and some people will want to take it up
Okay.
with the school officials. So that is like advocacy. And somebody who does that is called an advocate. So for the elderly, we want to know what an elderly person also means.
Yeah.
The United Nations define the elderly as one who is over 60 years of age.
Okay.
And this also depends on country by country. In Nigeria, for example, it's between 60 and 70. That is where you can say somebody is elderly, and maybe that is like the retirement age,
Okay.
so to speak. So then why is it important for you to now advocate for these elderly persons? Just from the definition,
Yeah.
you are trying to help the elderly to maybe tell the government some of the challenges they face, and so that such challenges can be looked into, and then they can now promote better life and better condition for the elderly.
Okay.
And the purpose is really to make their later years in life to be comfortable, because these are people who have really given to the society
Okay.
during their active life, and now they are older and incapable and they are slower, so they may not be able to speak. So you as an advocate will want to make a voice, speak up for them. So some of those plights, for example, for the elderly, is for them to know their rights too, because as they are getting older, they may not even know that they have rights, thinking that old age comes with nothing, at all. And that is why many people are really scared of it.
All right. So how can we raise this awareness about the importance of care for the elderly in our communities? How can we do that?
Yes, you can raise the awareness through many means. We have even many bodies that are also there trying to advocate for them. Like we have the COSROPIN, I'm sure you know the COSROPIN, which is the Coalition of Society of the Rights of the Older Persons. And you have the National Senior Citizen Center, These are means where such um, that is the bodies that can, on behalf of the elderly,
Yeah.
advocate for them.
Okay.
You have even NAPTIP that is usually for the prohibition of trafficking of persons. They are now interested in the abuse of the elderly because the elderly also are abused in many ways. So, and also the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, it's another body where they can have such available sources for them to be for that is for the advocate
Yeah.
to take their cases to.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Stella Arid. What are some specific challenges? Just move closer to the mic, please. All right. Just let us know the specific challenges that the elderly face in terms of healthcare and support.
One, they may not be able to access medical bill.
Okay.
The next one is neglect.
Mm.
Neglect. As my sister has said, you at old age, you are seen as you are not having any worth.
Okay.
There is this, thought of giving you a name. In most villages and towns,
Yeah.
elderly, especially those who, when one can look old even at 30, when there is no good care,
Yeah.
bended, sickly, and people are in the villages or even city, when they see those with the health situation, they term them witch or wizard.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
what do we call those? They are looked at and kept aside.
Somehow neglected. Somehow. Yeah.
Even the family too. So this has to start from the family. In the days of old, when family was family, people took care of their old people. We were trained to take care of our grandmothers, grandpa,
Yeah.
Meet their little needs, water, wash their clothes, and then they would tell us story, tales,
Yeah. Tales and all.
and we enjoy it. But now it's not so. So this also increase trauma,
Yeah.
neglect, trauma, sudden sickness, heart attack, so many things, complications.
So now, Ma, what are the roles of individuals in terms? How can they play a major role for a better care for the elderly?
From the family, we talk about isolation.
Yeah.
Isolation is keeping someone apart, you know, separating someone. Some isolation will be meant well. Some may be meant well.
Yeah.
Oh, mom, you work too hard.
Too hard.
Dad, you work too hard. Please don't go to work again. Stay at home. All the conveniences are provided. Food. But mom or dad have friends.
Yeah.
It's not to care. People, they stay together and talk together and remember the old days. When they don't get to these people to talk, they get frenzy. They get frenzy. And this isolation that is meant well for them become a problem to them. The other part of isolation is where, like I said earlier, where somebody is stigmatized and kept aside. Once you had money to take care, don't go there. When you go there, you spend on that person.
Yeah.
Names calling and all whatnot. So these are the things.
Yeah.
So we have the positive isolation, the good intention, and the negative isolation. So these are the things. But we can bring them. Look at what somebody loves.
Yeah.
If this is what the person loves, we make sure that the person can go out visiting, and because you don't want that person elderly to get stressed, you give that mom, dad, whom do you want to visit? Give all the you work according to that person's program.
So that they can feel love.
Feel love.
Yeah.
And then you can once in a while take that person out.
All right.
Once, to see the environment, to places.
Yeah.
She or he had been used to and talk much about.
All right. Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Neighbor program right here on 99.9 Kids FM Abuja. And we are taking a look at promoting advocacy for care towards the elderly and the effect of isolation. And to be part of the conversation, the numbers to call 090 30,000 899 or 080 998 770 090 30,000 899 or 080 998 770. You can call in. You can ask our experts some vital questions as regards the effect of isolation for the elderly. You can ask one or two questions. You can also contribute on the program. So call in, and of course, be rest assured that your voice will be heard. All right, I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Isioma Okwa. We talk about isolation and the effect it has. Please, can you just tell us? Yes, can you tell us that how can we address the issue of isolation among the elderly and ensure they have a sense of belonging and connection?
Thank you very much. Yes, first of all, isolation. What is isolation? It's actually the physical separation from the other person or from people. Physical separation from the other person. So, and again, the elderly is usually afraid of loneliness. But there are some factors that can make them to be lonely. For example, there are some elderly that may not be able to hear you properly, and that hearing problem is not solved. So they are afraid to speak because you will not hear them.
Yeah.
So they are isolated. They don't want to contribute to any of your discussions. So they are there. So you can say that, and they present themselves with loneliness and isolation. And most of them come with anxiety and lethargy, sleepless nights, and memory loss because of the loneliness. So, like my sister said, one of the things we could do is to encourage visitation by the family.
Yeah.
And also, families also should know that there are even nursing homes that can take care of these patients where they cannot even be with their fellow elderly people, especially when they don't have time to take care of them, or they don't have the caregiver to give them at home. So they can now take them to the old people's home. And also we should make positive efforts, that is the advocate, that we make certain positive comments around them to boost their self-esteem. You take them on workout, you take them out,
go for like a walk.
Take a walk.
Yeah.
You can even watch television, the DSTV, not the crime channels, the one that can make them relax.
Yeah.
And even if their hobbies, you can encourage them to be involved in some hobbies, maybe knitting or any house exercises, and also encourage them with exercises like we said, the workout, which increases the blood flow and makes them stronger and more flexible. And even gym, if they are younger, they can go for gym, and you can hang out with them, go out for lunch, you can take them for lunch, and they can also join some society like that cost European, because I know most times when they have meetings, they tell them to come and they play Ludo, they play many things, even songs and all that. So something to just make them to be active. If they have that ear loss problem, they can give them hearing aids And if they have like glaucoma, they should also, or impaired vision, you see where the free glasses can still be given. So the government also have a lot to play in preventing isolation of the elderly
Yeah.
because of what they go through. So
All right. All right. Thank you very much for that insightful deliberation. All right. You can be part of the program 090 30 899 or 080 998 777. If you're just joining us, we are taking a look at promoting advocacy. All right. I've got a call. Hello. Good evening. Please do well to call me back. If you want to get across, please move away from your radio set or turn down the volume entirely. 090 30 899 or 080 998 777. We are taking a look at promoting advocacy of care towards the elderly and the effect of isolation. I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Stella Arit. Please, just tell us the misconception about old age. But before you do that, I have before. Oh, please do well to call back 090 30 899 or 080 998 777. Please tell us the misconception about old age that people have.
Yes, it starts from the family. From the family. You
Okay.
must get- I have lived and I have had friends who have elderly people. One of the misconceptions, the elderly wants closeness. They demand time. They want to talk to you know, to share something with the child or members of the family, whoever is around. And when you come at that time, all along he or she had been lonely. Say, please come, I want to tell you something. Oh, that, I'm too busy. The attitude of being too busy causes them pain.
Okay.
Others say, I've had a friend, she's now gone. She even left before I'm on. Leave my mother. She's old. Leave her. That is an attitude. And it hurts them, especially
All right.
attitude of they are old.
Yeah.
They can, they see them as vegetable, even when they are very strong. It's not fair. It's not encouraging for them.
All right. 090 30 899 or 080 998 777. I don't know what's happening to the phone line, but keep trying. Be rest assured, I'm going to take your call when it actually comes through. 090 30 899. Mrs. Isioma Okwa, you were saying something about caregivers and how important they are to the elderly. Can you just tell us what resources or support networks are available for caregivers of the elderly, and how can we promote access to these resources?
okay, that is what I told you about those resources and those bodies I said they can be of help.
All right.
Yes, that is to help in available for the caregivers. That is the resources and support networks. So those are the ones I mentioned.
All right.
Yes, the national, that's the senior citizens,
All right.
the post-European, and then
Reliance on that.
even the Ministry of any, that is it National Orientation Agency?
Agency.
They also have a part to play also in awareness of the elderly. Even schools also should be able to teach, and again, government should be able to train more doctors. In fact, professional bodies on geriatric training, so that it should be such things should be in every local government, like hospitals, and if they cannot have hospital, but the existing hospital should have like wards for the geriatric patients.
All right. Thank you.
So those are the areas they can assess.
Yeah.
All
right. We've got a few minutes, so we are going to make things a little bit faster. I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Arit. Please just tell us, for those that are listening right now, the health effects of isolation on the elderly. Just in 1 minute, just tell us.
the health effect on the
Yes, I have a call. Oh my goodness. Please do well to call me back. I just have a few minutes. Yes, just let us know.
it it can lead to themselves withdrawal attitude
Okay.
because of the tendency
Okay.
complaints from the loved ones.
Yeah.
They are not talking. This thing, the first, when you talk of elderly, the first port of call is the family. Is the family. When the family, before my mother passed on, we had to agree with her. We
Okay.
got her help, helpers.
Yeah.
And she was so blessed with the helper. Even the elderly too have their own role. If you are too complaining, a complainer, you will lose regard and respect. But thank you, please, appreciating will encourage. So these caregivers in family, before you go to, no, in the family, even villagers, when they know the person,
Yeah.
they will come.
Yeah.
Family will come, neighbors will come, and you will always have. It is an attitudinal this thing.
Yeah.
The older person must be accommodating,
All right.
friendly.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing those insightful suggestions. But before we wrap things up, is there any final message you would like to convey to our listeners regarding promoting care towards elderly and the effect of isolation? I'm going to come to you, Mrs. Irit, before I move to Mrs. Isioma Opa. Just in just 30 seconds, your final words.
Effect of isolation.
Just your final words as regards the elderly.
Yes, the elderly. We talk about fear. Their greatest fear is as they grow older. Their prayer is, Lord, the moment I'm passing on, then my children be around me.
Yeah.
They want the comfort of the children, and then to say whatever they want to say, blessing on them. That is it. So they always pray that it should be in the daytime. Yes,
Yeah.
where it is. Most of them, the children are even in the city where the children are with them. They, they normally come in the daytime. In the night, they are in their respective homes.
Yeah.
So their prayer, and God will answer such prayer. And when it comes like that, they go peacefully.
All right, Mrs. Isioma, your final words.
Yes, thank you. I want to say that the awareness of care of the elderly is very small in our nation. There should be really increase of awareness of them, because that is why people neglect them, they don't respect them. You'll be surprised even when you are in the bank, you struggle with the elderly, you will not give the elderly maybe space to sit or for them to be attended to first. You are even angry because they are attending to the elderly before you. So there is very, very minimal awareness of the care of the elderly. So this should be the awareness. I want like the village heads to take it up. 8th grades, town unions should speak about it. Even the NYSC should have support groups for them to be able to care, to see how they can just look at, you know, taking care of the elderly in their own way. And in secondary schools, this also should be taught, so that is what I feel, that the awareness of care of the elderly is very minimal. And that is why we
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having this wonderful, wonderful mommies in the building. Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Isioma Upa, for coming.
Thank you so much.
And also Mrs. Stella Arit. It's a pleasure having both of you in the studio. All right. That is it. That is it from The Good Neighbor. Please visit our website. That is at thevoicefound.org. And that is thevoicefound.org for all the details of our reports and information about the Voice Foundation. And you can watch our videos on YouTube at The Voice Found TV, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to get reminders and when we have a new post. So join us again next week for another episode of The Good Neighbor. And remember to follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at The Voice Fan. And also remember that you can reach us through our phone at 080-9893-0073. I repeat, 080-9893-0073, or send us an email at info@thevoicefound.org. It's been a wonderful time here on the Voice Foundation 99.9 Kiss FM Abuja. All right, in my local language, I would say Une Maka. Oh, all right. Stick around, so much more for you right here on the station where good things happen, the home of good music and good talk 99.9 Kiss FM Abuja. Bye and God bless.
Thank you.